Okay. And let me spotlight my you in speaker mode. Okay, good. Okay, so let me change the glasses. Okay, so we'll start with the Wu Chi position. Feet together, hands at the side, elongate the spine, and suspend the head up to the sky. Hands at the side, smile on the face. Begin by softening the knees. Peeling off the left heel, the ball and the toe, separating shoulder width, touch down, toe, ball, heel. Energy moves forward from the hips with the wrists coming up, and then the palms flattening out, and then settling back down. Okay, I want you to focus on that movement again. So the hips are expanding, if you would, from the belly button, like a big balloon coming out of your belly button, and your hands are just kind of containing it as it expands, and then pushing it down to settle it to the knees. Okay, one more time. Expansion from the belly button, the big ball coming up to the shoulder, and then you're pressing it down. Inhale as it expands. Exhale, pressing down. Knees are soft, elbows are soft, shoulders relaxed. One hand up, the other hand below, compress. Sink down, exhale. Expand, inhale, and turn. Compress, exhale, sink down. Expand, inhale, and turn. And one more cycle. Okay, then hold the ball to one side. The hand that's up should be at the knee that's bent, and stretch out your legs a little bit. And lower hand comes across the belly, holding the ball. Compress down the hip, and then turn, diagonally splitting the hands up to eye level to the other side. The lower hand just off the hip, resting on the countertop. Then it moves in underneath across the belly, palms facing each other. Compress down, and then split, turning the other side. Lower hand again across the belly, embrace the move. The ball you're holding above your bent knee, and what you're going to do is compress down toward the knee and split diagonally. Lower hand coming in underneath, press down toward the knee. As you turn, splitting diagonally. Okay, both hands coming up now, and the motion of the ocean rolling back up the beach and then down back to the ocean. Inhale, pulling back. Exhale, pushing down and forward, then expanding upwards. Inhale, down and forward. Hands float across the other side down. Inhale, pulling back, press down, exhale, forward. Inhale back, almost like you're going to sit, but not quite sitting. Down and forward. One more time. And then float back to the other side. Okay, the front hand pretty much stays at your shoulder. The back hand goes back about 45 degrees to the back corner, palm up. You're going to pick up the phone with the back, press down toward your knee with the front hand, and then turn and deliver that shoulder energy across the room. And then reset. Front hand goes to the shoulder, back hand to the back corner, palm up, pick up the phone, press down toward your knee with the front hand, and turn delivering it across the room. That front hand goes to shoulder, back hand, back corner. Pick up the phone, press down to the knee, and turn. Reset, front hand to the shoulder, back hand to the back corner, palm up, pick up the phone, press down to the knee, and turn. Okay, this is brush knee and push. Okay, the variation on this, you leave the front hand toward the camera, and the back hand goes to the back corner. Both palms are up, pick up the phone with the back, and then push forward toward the camera, palm over palm. As it passes, the lower hand drops down. Brush your knee to the back corner, and then both hands turn up. Front hand is still left at the camera. Take a phone with the back. Push forward, lower hand drops, touch your knee to the back corner, turn the palms up. Okay, this is called repulsing the monkey. To the phone, press forward, drop the lower hand, back corner, palms up. Take the phone, press forward, palm over palm, lower hand drops to the back corner. Okay, so let's bring both hands forward, drop down, elbows out, hug that tree, pull it in to your heart space, drop it down, and then pick up the left leg, put it together, back to the neutral position. Okay, relax, shake it out, and questions?
That's good.
Okay,
Push record.
what's that?
You push record.
I did. It's been recording. Thank you. Okay, the new movement I'm going to show you is actually a variation on parting the horse's mane. Parting the horse's mane is a diagonal split. It's the Chinese energy is called Li, Li. It's diagonally splitting. So your hands are, it's like throwing a frisbee with the lower hand, but your hands are splitting and sort of like tearing apart this kind of energy. The variation is called ward off. Ward off is the Chinese word is peng, which actually is an expansion energy. So whereas we're holding the ball here with parting the horse's mane, we're splitting diagonally. With ward off, as we press down, we're going to actually turn, but the two hands are actually expanding away from each other. So it's actually led by the elbows coming out. So this one is not quite so high, it's at chest level, and it's the forearm which is expanding forward with this energy. Okay, this is called ward off. Okay, so we're going to reach across, hold the ball, press down, and as we turn, the hands, the fingers are almost facing opposite directions, and it expands by pulling across and forward. Okay, the back hand is at the hip, and this front hand is, imagine bouncing an opponent away from you. Okay, so embrace the move, press down and turn, but expand from, again, this common area is the belly button or your dantian, a little bit below the belly button, second chakra, expanding outwards in this process here. Okay, hold the ball, press, turn, and expand forward. Okay, and the comparison is with parting the horse's mane, where you're compressing and you're splitting diagonally upwards. This one is expanding forward. Okay, it's called ward off. Let's do a few of those. Embrace the moon, compress, turn, expand. Embrace the moon, compress, turn, expand. Press, turn, expand. Press, turn, expand. Okay. Now, we're going to concentrate on the legs, the double weight shift. And then what we'll do is we'll get that going, and I want to get that rhythm into your muscle memory, and then we'll add the hands back in, okay? But before we start that, I want to loosen up your lower spine and pelvis region. So put your hands with your thumbs in your belly button. Start with the coronal circle. If you would, just kind of get that area of your body rolling around. Keep your head still. Just the lower abdomen, hips, thighs, and knees should be moving. Shoulders, neck, and head should be as still as possible. Then reverse the circle. Okay, we convert to the horizontal plane, which actually is going around. And then feel the tension in your hips, lower back. As you're doing this, kind of just focus on relaxing that or releasing that tension. Reverse the direction. Okay, then the sagittal circle is going in this plane here. So we're moving it in that plane. And then reverse. Okay, and this relaxation is important to kind of get your lower section loosey-goosey as possible. So when you do the double weight shift, it'll flow smoothly from one side to the other. So just quick review of the double weight shift. Bow step is 70-30. 70 with the bent knee, but the knee should not be in front of the toe. So your shin should be as vertical as possible. The back leg, you straighten that, stretch it out into the heel. Then you rock back to 80-20, and then we close the hip into sort of this knock-knee position, and shifting back into that direction into 100-0. Okay, the 100 is all the weights on one leg, very little weight on the other leg, just touching with the toe. And then we slide the heel down into the bow step on that side. Okay, rocking back 80-20, close the hip, shifting into 100-0, and then bow step. So rocking back 80-20, your shoulders facing the wall, then go 45 degrees to one corner, close the hip, closing to 45 degrees to the other corner, and then into the 100-0, shifting to 70-30 bow step to the other wall. Rocking back 80-20, close 100-0, and 70-30. Okay, let's just keep doing that for a little bit. Rocking back, kind of getting the legs and the shoulder direction as precise as you can, but I don't want you to kind of focus so much on the various parts. I want you to focus on the flow. Okay? Again, keep your head at the same level, like you're working in a short ceiling room. So everything has to kind of be a little bit squatty in moving through this process. Okay, and then what will happen is eventually, again, if your lower body is loose, you'll be able to kind of slide into one position and then slide back into the other position, but the focus should be on flow. You want to flow back, flow into closing and opening the hip and flowing into the bow step on that side, and then switch direction. So eventually what happens is, as your muscle memory develops, you won't have to think about so many different steps. And it just kind of goes one way and the other way. Now, the postures, like the bow step, is just a target. We don't stop in this posture. So you come up to it, you touch it, and then you go back. So you're not actually stopping. You're just touching that posture and then rolling back almost immediately. And that's what stimulates this flow from yin to yang, yang to yin. Okay, now we had the hands back. Okay, so from bow step on this side, the arm up is the same side with the knee bent. The arm down is underneath across the lower belly. Compress, rock back, close the hip, and then from the T step, everything is still held over that initial leg. As you step out, you split diagonally into parting the horse's mane. Embrace the moon, rock back. T step, compress. Bow step, part the horse's mane. Rock back. Embrace the moon. T step, compress. Bow step, part the horse's mane. Okay. Then from here, we can actually have the lower hand roll up, rock back, press down, and forward. Okay, embrace the moon with the lower hand across the belly. T-step, compress, part the horse's mane. Lower hand comes up, rock back, press down and forward. And then lower hand embraces the moon across the belly, rock back, compress into T-step, part the horse's mane. Okay, then we're gonna have that motion of the motion of the ocean rather, and then the lower hand comes in underneath. Okay, now we're gonna do ward off. So rock back, embrace the moon, compress into T-step. Ward off is that expansion energy, okay, not the splitting energy. Okay, both hands up, rock back, press down and forward. Embrace the moon, rock back, embrace the moon, into T-step, compress, and then pulling, expansion, forward. Both hands up, rock back, down, and forward. Drop the front hand underneath, hold the ball, rock back. T-step, compress, pulling, expansion, forward. Both hands up, rock back, press down, and forward. And lower hand underneath, rock back. T-step, compress, plung, energy. Forward, back, down, forward. Embrace the moon, rock back. Compress into T-step, plung. Lower hand underneath, and back to parting the horse's mane now. Embrace the moon, compress it into T-step, and split upwards, parting the horse's mane. Embrace the moon, rock back. Press into T-step, splitting, parting the horse's mane. Okay, compress, rock back, T-step, split. Lower hand comes up, rock back, down and forward. Embrace the moon, back, T-step, compress, part the horse's mane. Lower hand comes up, ocean coming in, going out. Embrace the moon, turning, compress into T-step, part the horse's mane. Lower hand comes up, rock back, down and forward. Embrace the moon as you turn. Compress into T-step, splitting. More hand up, back, press down and forward. Okay. Embrace the moon as you turn. Compress into T-step. Parting horse's bend. Okay. So back to center. Drop down, elbows out. Hug that tree. Pull it into your heart center. Settle it down. And close the door. And
Very good.
okay, so you see the progression there. If you get the double weight shift in the legs, that's all you do. You just go from one side, close the hip, open the hip, to the other side. Close the hip, open the hip, and back and forth. Now the hands is your artistic desire, whatever you want to throw in there. The hands, you can pretty much do anything, but as long as you keep sort of the metronome of the weight shifts going back and forth, opening and closing the hips, you can actually just make up your own hand motions if you wish. Okay, so from both sides, one side, close the hip. You can actually start swinging the arms around and just do little funny things as you wish, but it actually should flow with this rocking back, closing hip, opening hip, and back and forth. So you can kind of take license in adding whatever hand motion you'd like to do. Okay, so I think of it like basically opening the car door, closing the refrigerator door, swinging, swinging an instrument, weed whacking or harvesting grass or whatever. So that's the basics of Tai Chi movement. And if you're confused at all, just slow down the whole thing. And then, you can get back to the position of pointing your shoulders in various ways to remind yourself of the muscle memory and how that's supposed to flow. Okay, so we kind of threw a lot of stuff in on this session. I'm recording it so you can review it and just keep practicing it, but we're isolating the legs. These are your the treads on your tank, essentially, to kind of get you in position. And your waist is the swivel on the turret. Your arms are the whip, the gun that fires, and you can sort of mix and match them as you wish. We've just got a couple more minutes. Any questions?
Don't think of any.
Okay. Well, you'll have the recording. I'll get up on YouTube and send it to you. So you have something to refer to. We were in the office last couple days, so it looks like we may be ramping up in that area. So I did want to kind of get this recorded so you have that, sort of just basic motions to kind of hold on to. I'll try and continue these Zoom classes as long as we can, but if the office gets busy and we start doing surgery, then we may have to cut this out. I do have another group, the Honolulu Men's Shed, that we do Zoom classes for. I'm looking at breaking them down as well, because the Men's Shed may be actually opening up operations this weekend. But I promised them that we'll try and have at least maybe one Zoom class a week. And if I'm consolidating all these classes, what I'll have you do is just kind of come in on those classes if you want to continue with the training. So
we so appreciate everything, Randy, that you've done and continue to do. It really has been helpful for us.
Okay.
I agree, Lori.
Absolutely.
Yes, this has been just perfect to be able to do this.
Good.
We really appreciate it.
Well, just email me your feedback, you know.
Okay.
There, we got through, I would say, 2/3 of the motions of the 24 movement form. I mean, I remember we did the kick and the box both ears, you know. That is, you know, probably a little bit more advanced because you're having to bounce on one leg as you're kicking, recovering, and then coming in, boxing. But that's something you can practice also on your own. The other ones that yet to be discovered basically is, let me see, how does this go? It's basically Fair Lady open shutters, but and that's a shoulder stroke with shoulder, elbow, and wrist lifting this side, and then the other hand coming in. So what you're doing is you're opening up some ribs under his arm, and then rupturing some kidneys. But that's you know, we can get to that. Otherwise, we'll plan for Tuesday after Mastermind. Or wait, are we on Mastermind Tuesday? Anyway.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, I want to get Francesca, because everything's in retrograde now. All the planets are kind of like backwards.
Yeah.
So that's going to be an interesting discussion. Okay, so we'll see you Tuesday.
Thank
And,
you.
Thank you.
Righty. Enjoy your weekend.
Thanks.
Wendy, thank you.
Bye, Ann.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.